Hi, my loves. Happy Monday night. It's Monday. Gotta get down on Monday. Nope, that's not today. It's just another manic Monday. Yep, that's better. Welcome back to the show. I haven't been here in a minute. I'm gonna need a sentimental. Really sorry about that. I have been working harder than I've ever worked in my entire fucking life. And it is unbelievably challenging, and that is what's going on. And I'm lucky to be able to do so, but holy shit, am I fucking slammed and slam bam, thank you, ma'am. So there's some stuff I want to talk about today in my life, but also on top of that, by the way, I just had to order a new phone case because mine is ripped the fuck up. Like I got this case 6 months ago. How do I manage? Let me show you guys what's going on with my case. Let me just show you guys this. Like, it's ripped, it's torn from every angle. What do I do? Like, is my hand the problem on the top? And so I've noticed I've been taking all these big meetings and I'm really trying to hustle right now. And I put my phone on the table and you can't put it upwards, you got to put it downwards. And it just looks like shit. So I ordered the exact same fucking phone case. Thank you, Apple, because I have to order it from there because they're the only ones with the MagSafe case where I can put that extra battery on that I have. This battery only works with their effing phone cases. Ugh. The phone cases are $49 fucking dollars, and you have to get them every 6 months because they get destroyed. That's what I'm on about right now. So anyway, I have been working. I'm here now. I want to talk about the things. Shazam, I wonder if you guys saw it. I want to talk a little bit about Shazam and how it really performed super poorly. And I want to go over those numbers and by comparison, what that looks like, what we think that means for DC, if it means anything for DC, because they've already gone to change directions. And also, I want to talk a little bit about what's going over at Marvel. I saw some of the dumbest fucking headlines I've ever seen in my life on YouTube about Victoria Alonso exiting Marvel. Wow, people are pissed about women existing and breathing. So we'll talk about that. And then I want to talk about Amanda Bynes, who was placed on psychiatric hold. And this was a really fucking sad story. And we'll talk about that. And then for those of you guys who are patrons of the World Girls, I'm going to go live on the World Girls for the patrons at the $10 plus tier after this at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to talk all different things television because I'm in the middle of binging right now. Swarm, which is Donald Glover produced new show, Dominic Fishback starring in it. It's so fucking crazy. And it's also got, I was about to transition to the other show that I watched. I binged Daisy Jones and the Six. So I'm going to talk about that all over there. But here, we're talking Shazam. We're talking Victoria Alonso's exit from Marvel. We're talking about Amanda Bynes. We're talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. And I haven't been live here in a minute. So also ask me whatever the fuck you want. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. As you guys know, we as in creators prefer Streamlabs to Super Chats because Super Chats, that YouTube motherfucker takes 50%, which you hate to see. I want your money to go to who you want it to go to, which is hopefully your girl. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what it is you guys have to talk about. Again, Streamlabs in. Let's start by talking about Shazam. I saw Shazam. I'm just going to give you guys a full lowdown. I love DC. As you guys know, I co-hosted DC Movie News for almost 7 years. I'm a big DC junkie. I love DC. I love the DCEU, which is now called the DCU. I love the character Shazam. I loved the first Shazam movie, and I was really excited for the announcement of Gunn and Safran coming through. I was really excited for this movie. I'm excited for all the movies. Actually, I don't know if I was particularly excited for Shazam 2 because of that announcement, but I digress. I usually am invited to go see the Warner Brothers movies beforehand. I do not consider myself a critic. I'm not part of any critics association, but I'm typically invited to the press screenings because I do reviews on my social media and here and for Rotten Tomatoes or Collider or Screen Junkies or The Big Thing or Skybound or any AfterBuzz or DC Movie News or any of the places that I've been over the last 13 years. I consistently am doing reviews for them. And I don't consider myself a critic because it is not, I do not want to be somebody who critiques other people's artwork for a living. I think that it's an amazing job that people have. And when they're looking at things, they're breaking things down from a very specific perspective as a critic. I am not here to critique. I'm here to tell you guys how the fuck I felt about it. I'm here to say I saw Shazam and as a fan, here's what I thought. Or this didn't work for me. And I understand that that's a very slight distinction between that and a critic, but I'm not there watching it with that keen eye to break things down. It's just like, did you fucking like it? Did you not like it? What was the deal? Like you guys, I'm a fan. So I am saying all that because I was not invited to see Shazam 2. And I was a little surprised by that because I think that it was not a great marketing move of them that I think that they didn't invite they invited critics, but they didn't invite uh a lot of the press people that I typically see at these DC screenings, which or at least that's what they told me and that's what I hear, which I think didn't get the best buzz out about this movie early because it was more critiques who were going to see this. Now I did hear from my critic friends that they liked the movie. So at least the buzz around it beforehand was not the buzz was not this movie fucking sucks. The buzz was this movie's pretty good. But they didn't have I don't call myself a fucking influencer because not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not really what I do either. But they didn't have the people like me go to these screenings, I guess. So I wasn't hearing that much, which is surprising because they had such a big marketing budget on this. But so I went Thursday for the first screening available, which is a 3 p.m. screening. I took myself, I paid for a ticket and went to go see Shazam as a fan because I needed to, because I see all DC movies. And also for work, I had to discuss it Friday morning for Only Stupid Answers. So I say all that because I think it's relevant to what's going on with DC right now and what's going on with Shazam in general. As you guys know, Shazam opened this weekend to a $30 million opening weekend box office, which is really fucking bad. It's really fucking bad. Not for every movie, for this movie. Let's break down why it's really fucking bad. This movie had a budget of $110 million and it had a marketing budget of $100 million. So that puts it at a $210 million movie to make. And this movie, just in comparison to the original Shazam, OG Shazam, Shazam 1, Shazam opened to $102 million opening weekend domestically, 156 internationally. So I believe that these people said that this is a 44% drop off rate. I don't know how that math exactly clocks out, but what I do know is that this opened lower than Morbius, which I think came in at 39 million, and lower than Birds of Prey, which we already talked about was doing so poorly, and that came in at 33. This was really, really not good for DC. DC is not doing well right now in the box office, and 30 million was quite the hit. That might be okay though, and we'll talk about why. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on a couple of different things here. Number one, why do you think a movie that is not a stinker of a movie, if you saw it, you know that it's not a fucking stinker of a movie. Why do you think a movie that is somewhere people believe to be somewhere between okay and great, I lie in the middle. I think it was good. I think it was solid. Why do you think a movie that was like that did so fucking poorly? That's question number one. So let's break that question number one down. Is it because we've already announced James Gunn and Peter Safran, and we know that Shazam has nothing to do or we don't believe Shazam has anything to do with the direction that we are moving forward. And so people just didn't want to see it. Is it because there wasn't a ton of buzz out there about it and it didn't get A plus 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 reviews like The Flash did? Is it because people are not stoked about Zachary Levi right now? With a few different things that he's doing, he's kind of seemingly becoming, and this is not my perspective, this just seems to be when my ears to the ground in Hollywood. I'm hearing similar conversations about him that I was hearing about Chris Pratt a couple years ago, right? Is it because of all of that? Are people just experiencing fatigue in general from DC, from superhero stuff? Did people not love Shazam 1 as much as I believe they did? What are your guys' thoughts? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in one more time. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer or super chat in. I appreciate when you go over to Streamlabs. I know it takes one extra step, but then that money comes to me instead of half of it going to YouTube. Just remember, if you want your creators to get the money, then you got to go over to their Streamlabs or wherever they're requesting that you go. Although I love super chats too. Grateful for whatever you can do. Always Loloid today said, if there's no Roxy Stryer in the DCEU, then I refuse to see Shazam 2. Boycott DCEU. Yes. Lloyd, I believe that's probably why most people didn't see it, because I wasn't in it. Sips tea. Mike Joyce in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, I thought the first Shazam was fine, and I did not like Shazam 2. The moment that broke me was the taste the rainbow moment. It all went downhill for me after that. I thought that was a really, really not good moment, Mike. I liked the movie. I did. I am with you that I thought that moment was woof city. That was a tough moment. That was a tough moment. In the super chat, we have Chris Lemchi who says, think poor marketing and the DC reboot announcement screwed Shazam. WB, Gunn, and everyone is spending time praising The Flash, and yet I feel none of that love was given to Shazam 2. It's very true. There was very little love given to Shazam 2. And to the extent where it was kind of just like, do you guys know that you have this movie coming out right now? Like, if you guys are going to spend $100 million in the marketing budget, maybe like tweet about it or like, just market it a little bit more. It's very strange. There was a tweet that I saw today that was really interesting about, okay, my friend BD, Brandon Davis over at Comic Book, he always cues me into what's going on in the comic book world. And he was tweeting about Shazam! Fury of Gods opened 43% lower than the first Shazam movie at the box office, earning $30.5 million in its first weekend. But there was something else that I saw that he tweeted that was kind of fucking wild. I think it was him. Something about Sandberg saying something about not being surprised that the way that the movie went, and that's why he already got paid completely on the project and wasn't stressed about it or some shit. And I was like, that's kind of strange, but I can't find the exact quote right now. If you guys know what it is, let me know in the chat. I would love to hear from y'all if you guys heard. Okay, there's this Deadline article that says Shazam! Fury of the Gods director surprised with film criticism, reveals he's definitely done with superheroes. Okay, let's see what this is about. Sandberg took to Twitter to note that he had just gotten his lowest critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, which stood at 52% at the time of the post. The filmmaker also noted that the superhero sequel with the highest audience score of the same film with 88%. He said, I wasn't expecting a repeat of the first movie critically, but I was still a little surprised because I think it's a good film. Oh, well, I'm with him. I feel like some people, even though they didn't love it, I think it's a good movie. I thought it was solid. There are some moments that I didn't like, but in general, I thought it was a totally solid movie. It did have like a very typical 3-act structure. It had that like Marvel MCU kind of structure too, with the monsters and the CGI and whatever. And if you like those kind of movies, I feel like I don't get why people wouldn't be liking this a little more. He said, as I've been saying for a while now, I'm very eager to go back to horror as well as trying some new things. After 6 years of Shazam, I'm definitely done with superheroes for now. So those were his tweets. And then he said, just to be clear, I don't regret even for a second making the Shazam movies. I've learned so much and gotten to work with some truly amazing people. Will forever be grateful that I got to direct two of these. They've been very challenging but valuable experiences. One thing I've really been looking forward to is disconnecting from a superhero discourse online. A lot of that stresses me out so much, and it will be nice to not have to think about it anymore. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm sure that we've heard Ben Affleck talk about that. We've heard Sandberg talk about it. We've heard everybody who's worked on superhero movies talk about how they just want to stop dealing with the internet, which I understand. Rachel Zegler, she tweeted out and she said, "Hey, our film is actually really good, but mostly I just absolutely loved making it and the people I met whilst doing so. Go see it, give it a chance. We have an 85% audience score for a reason. Some people out there are just being senselessly mean and it's unnecessary. And I know if you can't handle the heat and all that nonsense, and you're right, but our film is actually very good. It's just cool to hate on fun nowadays. That's okay. We're good." I'm with her. I do think a lot of people too, like when I call a movie fun, people are like, "Oh, you're shitting on the movie," and I'm like, "No, what? I just said it was fun." Some people. That's why I'm not a fucking critic, and I respect critics and what they do. I'm just not one of them. I either kind of like a movie or I don't. I liked this movie, and then there's varying degrees of that, of course. But I'm with Rachel on this. I think the movie was good. Have a good audience score for a reason. Go see it or don't. If you don't want to put your money there, then don't go see it. No worries. But the discourse online has been wild about this, and it's clearly affecting the movie. In the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, Mark Jason Ali says Shazam 2 hasn't been helped by gun. Oh no, did I say no? Shazam 2 hasn't been helped by gun and saffron announcement. They've also shown the end of the film in the trailer, hoping that I'm not going to spoil this, but the bup love would save the film. It hasn't. It's on track to losing 125 million. Plus, Batgirl can't get a release. Can't get a release. WBDC, Gun, and Saffron is a shit show right now. I'm really not interested in DC at the moment. They have killed off what worked, in my opinion. They do well on TV and animation, but the Arrowverse is dead later this year. They don't know what they're doing. 20F2. What is 20F2? Oh, 2 of 2. You sent one message then too. I was like, is that a year? Is this a code? What are we talking about? I definitely hear you, but here's what I'll say about the gun saffron thing. Shazam is not their project. I know Shazam, I know that Saffron is a producer on Shazam 2, but that was as a producer, not as an overseer of all the DC. This is not part of the new era. So I would try to, and what I'm trying to do myself is not have any kind of judgment or thought on Gunn and Saffron's ability to perform in this situation because this isn't part of their regime yet. And we will see what happens with that new Superman movie that Gunn is directing and writing. If that movie sucks, we're fucked. But my guess is it's not going to suck. I'm hoping it's not going to suck. I also think that box office does not equate to obviously whether a movie is good or not. I loved Birds of Prey. I thought that movie was effing excellent. Now, that also came out right before the pandemic, which clearly had an effect on it as well. But I would say if we're ranking DCEU movies, although Shazam 2 performed the poorest, it's not the worst of the bunch. It's not the best of the bunch. It's very middle of the road DCU. I keep calling it DCEU, even though they've told us now it's DCU. But for me, it's always DCEU. What do you guys think? Were you surprised that this did poorly? Did you expect this to do this poorly? Do you think it could pick up for them? Could they break even? Could they make money? I think that this is going to be a big L for DC, unfortunately, because I'm always rooting for them because the more they succeed, the more they were probably going to get better superhero movies and more invested into superhero movies. Peter, yes, Peter, with that big support. Hope things are going good. Peter, I would say things are going good. Feels like a assessment that I can't give at this time. Some things are. We are breathing. We are alive. That is good in and of itself. There are things on the horizon. We will get there one day. Thank you. And the super chat is good. It's great. So thank you so much. Teddy says Levi is alt-right Christian, zealot, and anti-vax. James Gunn has numerous problematic friends. These are inconvenient facts. I'm glad it's tanking. That's one of the things that I was referencing earlier. Zachary Levi, I don't know him personally. We did host that big brother, big sister thing together. He was absolutely fucking lovely to me. Period. Also, we have heard some not great things about Zachary Levi in the news recently, or speculations about choosing his last name to sound more Jewish, which obviously is difficult to hear as a Jew, and like his theory on that. I don't know about him being alt-right Christian. We do know that he tweeted that he was skeptical about Pfizer. Um, and that was weird timing, especially because I think that was the same day his dad had died. And it was just like, it seems like it should be the last thing on your mind, but okay. So I do think that didn't help the movie. I don't think that people are loving Zachary Levi the way they were after the first movie. But I also think that a lot of people have no idea that there has been any kind of shift. To me, Zachary Levi's performance wasn't as strong in this movie as it was in the first one. So that might be having an effect as well. And that. So yes, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. What do you guys think about that Shazam box office? Going back into the Streamlabs, hearing more from you. And I really appreciate you all being here, talking about this with me, talking about all the things with me here. We are going to be talking about Marvel in a little bit, switching camps, and about Amanda Bynes as well. Mike K in the Streamlabs says, "Hey Roxy, was wondering how are things going with you in Canada?" Thanks for asking, Mike K. I would say slowly, and we'll see. Slowly and we'll see. It's just been very work focused time for me and for him, and they're not going. It's just like not much to report, unfortunately. So we'll see. But thank you for checking in. I really appreciate that. Albert in the super chat says people aren't seeing it because guys are tired of being made to look stupid in pop culture. Some reason Thor 4 did poorly. Okay, let me see if I can break down what you mean by this, Albert. Guys are tired of being made to look stupid. You felt like this, you saw the movie and you thought that the portrayal of Shazam was somebody who was stupid? I mean, there's a plot point about Mary being smart. Is that what you're referencing? I feel like typically men look very smart in pop culture. Pop culture paints a really good light on men a lot of times. So let me know. Because I'm not really picking up what you're putting down. Anyways, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. PLD says, I haven't seen it yet, but the news makes me sad. The first one felt like such an underdog story success to me. Oh, and while I'm here, fuck Jake. Love you, Rox. No, we love Jake. You guys love each other. Yeah, I know. After the first Shazam movie, I was just so happy to talk about Shazam. And now it's such a bummer to talk about something that's not performing well. Nope. I don't root against any artists and their art to fail like this. It's just not my vibe, not my jam, not my circus, not my monkeys. Let's switch over to talking about Victoria Alonso. If you guys don't know, she has been number 2 at Marvel essentially for a long time now, since Iron Man, and she has been in the news consistently for being somebody who is very progressive. And on I'll put it like this, we have a lot of similar beliefs, and I think a lot of you guys here, if you're watching Live with Roxy, probably have some similar beliefs about some of the things that she's been vocal about. Yeah. Now I know not that much about her. I've only seen her stand up for certain people's rights who can't stand up for their own. I believe she's a queer woman, and I know that conservative Marvel fans are really fucking happy that she is gone. So let me just read a couple of the headlines on YouTube that I was like, oh my God. And you guys will know what I'm talking about. Okay, this one says breaking Victoria Alonso exits Marvel Studio after destroying it. This says ultra woke Marvel executive Victoria Alonso gone from Disney. This one says Marvel's Victoria Alonso fired, and says while the Little Mermaid keeps on failing. And then on the thumbnail says toxic femininity. Um, okay, word. All of them have woke in the title. Woke, woke, woke. Any video that uses woke in the title is like, you guys are, you guys have made something up. You've made something up. The fact that you guys continue to use woke and the people who use woke can't even define what it means, that it's not a real thing. The fact that everybody, like all of these headlines, toxic femininity, she was just a woman who's been doing her job seemingly in a very badass manner for since all the times that people loved Marvel to the times that they didn't like Marvel, but all of it, all the successes and the failures, just like Feige, she's been there. So it's just so strange to me. I clicked on some of these videos because I wanted to know what the people on the right were thinking about her, and everybody was like, "This is the this is the problem with the MCU," and I'm like, "Oh my God." I wish I could sit in a room with one of you and ask you seriously, what are you talking about, the MCU? Because she's a woman who believes in queer rights and women's rights. She, like, uh, what the MCU? Do you guys understand that there's still significantly more male characters than there are women? What is this MCU? What is the MCU? Because we have shows like, I don't know, She-Hulk. How dare they give She-Hulk a show? That's a woman. It's a woman. If we are gonna have a Hulk show, it should be a man show. MCU, fuck you, MCU. Like, I just can't believe there are people this dumb on the fucking planet or ignorant. I just can't. I can't believe it. What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you guys? I saw this is unrelated to this, but just on the same type of person. I saw this debate between this man and a woman the other day where he said, the more promiscuous you are, obviously, the more likely you are to get an STD. And she was like, well, that's not actually true. And he was like, in what way is that not true? And she was like, because some people who have sex frequently always use protection, and some people who are not educated in sex or have sex less frequently never use protection. And all the comments were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe women are this dumb. All women are so fucking stupid. She's so dumb. The more sex you have, obviously, the more likely you are to have an STD, you fucking idiot." And I was like, no, you guys are idiots. Do you not even know what protection is? Do you not know how it works? Do you not understand sex education? Do you guys not understand that not allowing preteens and young teens to talk about their periods doesn't mean their periods don't exist and that there's nothing sexual about a fucking period? Okay, I just transitioned to another one of my gripes, but it's just like these comments about the MCU. You guys are making shit up to fit an agenda of yours that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So apparently, Victoria Alonso exited Marvel on Friday. It was announced today. I think we're still waiting on all of the exactly what happened, and what this means and what is next. And I think that it's very likely that there was frustration on many different sides. People were shocked by this. Um, but from what I have read, she decided to leave. and I'd love to know more. So, to all the MCU fans out there, who are you and what is this made up title that doesn't really exist? What does it mean, Basil? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you know who Victoria Alonso was before today? Have you seen this outrage? Do you think that women of all ages should be allowed to talk about their periods because it's just a fucking bodily function, you fucking sociopaths? Why do so many fucking adults that are men care to talk about little girls' periods and try to prevent them from talking about it? You guys are fucking weird. All of that. Send support. Send that support. If you want to continue to talk more about Shazam not performing or what you mean or what that means for the future of DC, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. If you want to talk about Victoria Alonso's exit, where you think that she is going, why you think she really did leave. Do you think this will affect the MCU? Do you think that this is anything to do with some of the heat that's been on her because of all of the fan quote unquote fans that have been accusing her of being bad for the company, all of that? Let me know. Send in that support, questions, comments, concerns. In 20 minutes, I'm going to be live for Patreon only on patreon.com/the World Girls, where we're going to be talking all different television stuff. But before we get there, I still want to round out these conversations with you guys and also talk a little bit about Amanda Bynes. Now, I oftentimes on this show talk about some of my favorite childhood celebrities as I was coming up. We've spent a lot of time here talking about Britney Spears, of course. We spent quite some time talking about Shia LaBeouf, and we have spent time talking about Amanda Bynes, but we haven't spoken about Amanda Bynes in a minute. And for those of you guys who did not know, Amanda Bynes was found this past weekend naked, walking around right outside of downtown Los Angeles. She hailed down a car and said she was having a psychotic break. The person driving let her in the car and she called 911, and she now has been placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold that might be able to be extended after that point. It's just really, really fucking sad. And I know that Amanda Bynes was diagnosed as being with bipolar disorder several years ago. We saw there was a bunch of different things that happened with Amanda Bynes in the news for a while. The heart tattoo on her face, I think some stuff with her boyfriend. People were commenting on her haircut, all a lot of different things about her, and then mostly behavioral things. And now that she was found down in downtown LA, apparently completely naked, walking the streets. It's crazy how many child stars seem to have just these wildly fucked up lives. And when they were coming up, we just didn't have anything in place for them. There was no system. They were just like ripped limb from limb. And uh, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. I I feel I feel for her. I don't know what is going on. I can't pretend to know fully what's going on, but it's fucking sad. Keenan and Kel, they shared this message for her because if you guys remember, if you were a fan of all that, like I was, they they said, I've just been praying for her. It's awesome to see this was right before the psychotic break. This was over this past weekend. It's been awesome to see that she's doing better, which is great. We're just continuing to pray for her on our journey, and it's answered prayers that she's doing a lot better. And then this happened, and I'm sure it's been a journey. I'm sure it's a roller coaster. I wonder if she was just doing well. I wonder what's happening with her family, what her situation is, but just really thinking about her and thinking about us as a society and the way that we attack people and the way that we speculate and the way that we do not have systems in place for people who are truly unwell. It's just wildly fucked. It's wildly fucked. And then people make a mockery of them and they point and they laugh and they think, ha ha ha, not not you people, because likely you're like me, where is I really fucking feel for them and it's sad and it's very, very sad. So just was mentioning it because I had seen this about Amanda Bynes and wanted to use all of our collective ability to put good energy out there for her hopefully she can figure this the fuck out and she gets a grip on whatever it is that needs to go down. There's also been huge discussions recently in the media about medications and whether people should be on medications or not. And as always, I just am here to remind everybody that you really need to not look online, not take yourself off of meds, not ask your friends about your medication, not go to Twitter or Reddit about your medication. You need a doctor to talk about if you feel like you are in a mental health crisis or situation in which medication could or should or would be helpful, or you are currently on medication and you're thinking about changing your dosage. People go to 8 years and more of school for this. Nobody off the streets understands the way that doctors and professionals understand. And watching the discourse online about Amanda Bynes, like, she should be on more meds, she should be on less meds, she should be on this meds. It's like, do you have your fucking degree? Do you know her? Are you her doctor? If not, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I was even watching TMZ talk about her, and they're just like, like this the amount of meds and people go off their meds and all this stuff, and it's kind of just like, as a society, any of us talking about each other's meds, like, if you are not somebody's doctor, you have no idea. You have no idea who should be on what. You can't diagnose somebody. You can't prescribe that. It makes no sense. So I was thinking about her and just sending a lot of love to Amanda Bynes and to anybody who's struggling right now with their mental health. It's got to be a really fucking scary feeling to kind of check back in and realize you are naked in a bad part of Los Angeles alone and you need to flag down a stranger. Yeah, Cena says, leave me and my meds alone. Thank you very much. Precisely, my dear. Streamlabs.com/RoxyStrider. Not here for that much longer. If there's anything else that you would like to talk about today, I would love to hear from you guys. Send that support. I am not here as often recently. I try to be here at least 1 to 2 times a week. So this is one of them. So please show up to show out. If you want to know the rest of my week's schedule tomorrow, I will be on SEM. And I will be in therapy myself after that. On Wednesday, I believe that it's going to be raining. We were supposed to shoot our IRL, so we were going to air our IRL, but I believe what we're going to do actually is do a live episode that day and air our IRL at the end of the month. We'll keep you guys posted on that for the World Girls, but there will be some kind of World Girls things Wednesday. Thursday, you guys will see me on the big thing. Friday, I think an episode of Only Stupid Answers is dropping. And then I will be back here over the weekend. Additionally, this week, tomorrow night, I am seeing Air. And Thursday night, I am seeing Dungeons and Dragons. So I've been doing this thing recently where I post immediate reviews on my Instagram and my TikTok. So if you guys care about my thoughts on these movies, again, just kind of as a person, as a fan, going in and telling you how I feel, then check out my socials as well, please. Look at this. It was just a nice little plug for myself. Sometimes you have to plug yourself. That's what she said. Thanks to the support today from Lloyd, from Mike, from Mark, from PLD. You guys are amazing. Those are in the Streamlabs in the super chat. Thank you for the support as well from the people who showed up to show out, including Albert, who said something really weird about guys looking silly, but I appreciate you anyway, and Peter and everybody else who showed me some love today. Wow, Melissa, you saw Dungeons and Dragons already? You thought it was fun? Good. I'm nervous about that movie, and I'm stoked about Air. I hope Air is fucking great. Fingers crossed. I read a long article the other day about Matt and Ben's friendship since they were little kids. And it's just, when you can survive, it's just, oh gosh, I wish I had that. I wish I had like the bestie from when I was young that we just stayed together, acting and everything, writing and doing all. It's just such an unbelievable, very rare. I have friends from when I'm young, but I don't have that, like, that we moved out here together. We did the damn thing together. It's just so cool. One day there will be a docuseries or something made just about their friendship and the way that they've had each other's back. Very, very cool. Jake Yakoveta in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/RoxyStar says, thank you for being you. That's the message. Fuck PLD. Oh, guys, stop making me say fuck you to PLD, to Jake. You guys, I don't want to. Okay, go over to the World Girls Patreon if you want to talk television with me. If you're watching this after the fact, feel free to Streamlabs and I'll read it on the next show. I would love to hear from you guys more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've also been doing more stuff for the Real Rejects. I love working over there. If you guys want to see me on their stuff more, please go like, comment, subscribe to them on the videos. This week they dropped me doing Ip Man, which I thought was just the fucking greatest, and The Thing, which was also really rad. It Man I did with John, and The Thing I did with Coy. They've been bringing me on more often. I'm going to shoot with them again on Thursday. So really, really want to keep showing up over there. Greg has just been such a gift to me as a friend and as a person. And I'm so grateful that he's been bringing me on more. So please, oh, please let them know if you like seeing me there. That would mean the world to me. And I think that's what I got for you guys today. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being you. And thank you for the MCU. Stay safe, stay sane, put down your toilet seat and lid. We don't want those flumes. Don't trump the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice. Wherever you're on the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles. Glenn, oh, my dude, we're thinking about you every day. Whether I'm here live or not, thinking about you every day and pulling for you, rooting for you, loving you. Okay. Much love, everyone. And I'll see you over on the Patreon for the World Girls very shortly. Later.